So we can start. So we can start, sir. Rajesh?
Yeah. The speaker of the day, CA Prasanna Krishnan, sir. Other professional colleagues who has been part of this wonderful program on GST. We, on behalf of SIRC, I say, Chairman on behalf of the Regional Council, we welcome you all for this wonderful program on GST Refunds. Great pleasure and honor to have a wonderful speaker, a good friend, CA Prasanna Krishnan, sir. Prasanna Krishnan, sir, is a founder partner of a Chennai-based firm of practicing chartered accountants. His professional specialization is in the field of tax laws, especially the indirect tax laws, with specific focus on GST and customs. He's a successful indirect tax law counsel appearing before Honorable Customs, Excise and Service Tax Appellate Tribunals, the Director General of Foreign Trade, VAT Appellate Tribunals in various states and Customs Appellate Authorities, different GST authorities, including GST Appellate Forums, Advance Rulings, National Anti-Profiteering Authority. A lot of his representations to the government has been heard and has been implemented by the central government at different stages. The major his contribution was in January 2018, accepting his representation on contradiction between GST circular and GST notification. Ministry of Finance issued a corrigendum circular dated 2018, January 18, confirming relief to college mess food joints. In 2019 Finance Act, major part of his suggestions to see right the unintended renewal of exemption from GST registration for goods vendors has been duly considered by Government of India, benefiting lakhs of such taxpayers. In April 2020, his view or idea returned to Ministry of Finance to enable OTP-based GSTR filing options to about 1.1 million corporate GST payers during nationwide lockdown was accepted and implemented. Both revenue and taxpayers benefited due to hassle-free complaints during the pandemic too. He's been a resource person and he's a professional who delivers lectures in various government forums, including Regional Training Institute of C&AG, National Academy of Customs, Excise and Narcotics, Commercial Taxes State Training Institute, Tamil Nadu, Zonal Training Centers of Reserve Bank of India. He has contributed few publications and also the academic works of ICAI in respect of representations to central government, technical guides on various indirect tax laws, preparing pre and post budget memorandums. His views during official training sessions used by C&AG South Zone caused productive observation on tax on education institutions to the tune of about 19.2 crore to the central revenue. He has contributed to various training sessions of public sector units, public financial institutions, trade associations, chambers of commerce, and private banks. He has handled various sessions at ICAI CP seminar sessions throughout India, 60 hours per annum, past one decade. He's such a wonderful person who says always yes to our request to address at ICAI. His academic writing would include relating to tax laws in renowned dailies like Business Line, Excise Law Times, The Industrial Economist, Service Tax Review, The Economic Times. He has given series of interviews and has participated in tax law related discussions on various television programs. He has delivered several lectures on various topics, especially on indirect tax laws in various workshops, seminars conducted by education institutions, universities, and economic research centers, etc. He's a founder member of few non-profit academies, societies focusing on indirect tax law, related academic activities, as well as social services. With these few words, it's a great honor to have such a wonderful person, CA Prasanna Krishnan sir. Apart from this, all this academic and different things, he's a good poet. He writes a lot of poems, both in Tamil and English. So I love his lines at all times. Many of his quotes, I love it very much, and really appreciate you for spending time on writing some poems also, sir. So
thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for accepting our invitation and joining for this SIRC program. The session is yours, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Learned brothers and sisters, good evening. Very nice topic indeed. And my sincere thanks to the Institute, as well as our learned RCM, CA Rajesh. As far as the subject is concerned, it requires a very longer discussion than 2 hours, I know, of course. But when you are seeing from the context of contemporary issues and the issues to be settled at present, you have very specific issues to be addressed to. So let us focus on this one. Secondly, as far as this discussion is concerned, we will try to ensure that both the learner level people as well as the members who are there in the high expert level are addressed to with a due care, as well as a kind of specific interest in their area of works actually. So we'll spend a little time, maybe more than about 3 to 4 minutes will be required actually for basics. Then we will get into the subject actually. This is not to disrespect your knowledge, what you are having already in GST law, just to ensure that the learners, if any, are there in our gathering, may be able to quickly just catch up the basic points so that they will be joining with us with a better comfort level. They will be able to join in the journey of learning. We can see that. So let's just get into the basics and then we'll go for it. Actually. Of course, a regular story which I would like to say always in this kind of discussion. So it's a forum family kind of discussion. At the cost of repetition, I can say. It was a British time railway department, and after some time, about 30-40 years, it went in somewhere in 1970s. There is a retirement meeting arranged actually, felicitation for a retiring member. He's a lower level employee in the hierarchy of railway, and he is felicitated at the time of his retirement. Why to felicitate a person who is in the lower level in the railway department? Simple. All these 35-40 years, he has not taken any leave at all from the day one. So the divisional engineer himself is presiding over the meeting, discussions are there, somebody praises, somebody gives a lot of kudos to him, and all these things are happening there. On the sidelines of the podium, the learned hero of that day, the person who is retiring, went to the divisional engineer and said that, sir, I have a request. See, generally in this kind of meeting and all, a lower level employee, when he is retiring, and a hierarchy level basis, higher level employee, if he is listening, what will be the kind of discussion or subject matter? Sir, I'm retiring, give me on compassion ground to my daughter a job or my son a job. Something will be there. So with the kind of expectation of that matters, our divisional engineer said, yeah, what can I do for you? Sir, I need only half a minute of yours. Yeah, it is yours. You are hero today. I will give it to you. Sir, somewhere in 1940s, early 40s, I just joined this. Yeah, I know. There was a British station master who gave this hammer on day one and asked me to walk eastward some 1.5 kilometers and westward 1.5 kilometers alongside the track. Yeah, that is your job. You did very well. Yeah, sir, of course. And the instruction given to me was, take this hammer, bang on this track. You will hear this kind of sound, a particular sound he just explained. I could hear also. And then you do this. I did. Yeah, see, gentlemen, these are all the things you do. I know very well, and you did very sincerely. And what is the problem now, or what is the query now? So I just want to know today. This is the retirement date, actually. Why I did so, sir? Why did you ask me so? This is the question. The problem here is, whatever be the sincerity with which something is done, unless due care is taken as to the basics, it is not going to help. Sincerity is there always. So no parallel comparison or analogy is drawn here. Just trying to say that there are some serious needs to just look into the basics and then go into the technical points instead of jumping directly to the technical points. So next 3 or 4 minutes only, or even 3.5 minutes only, all the learned members who are in the expert level may kindly bear with. Just 3.5 minutes. Then we can get into the technical subject of highest level technical importance. Now, GST refund. When we are having GST refund, what is the time limit? If these two things are known, then we can get into the matters. See, generally speaking, you are having, I need not explain in detail, you are having the input tax credit system, you have some accumulated credit, it is there with you. When you will be able to claim the money from the government? Just because you are having accumulated ITC, can you claim refund from the government? It's not the case. The major two situations could be, as a zero-rated supplier, if you are having ITC, you can go for a refund. You should go for a refund, right? That's what the reality and practical matter. Fine. In the next situation, inverter structure. If needed, we'll discuss in detail about this. To put it simply, you have outward rate. I'm not saying the volume or the quantum. Outward rate to be a particular number. Let me say 18%, something like that. But your input is there at 28% rate. I'm not saying about the quantum. So whatever you try, always you get the input materials at the rate of 28. Whereas at the rate of 18 only, you are keeping answer. And you are still waiting one day or other, I will see that all my input tax credit will be exhausted. It will never get exhausted, theoretically speaking. Of course, there is a margin. Because of the margin, there is some erosion in the ITC accumulated. That's a different one. But generally speaking, it is not the case. If the gap is bigger, let me say 5% is the output, 28% is the input rate. Never you will be seeing down at top. This is not going to work out at all. So in that situations, in those kind of situations, what you can do? At best, you are supposed to go for a refund claim with the department. So this is also there. These two things you can remember. The third simple important matter to remember is the time limit. As it is there in any tax law, limitation is there for this also. 2 years is the time. 2 years from when? Always there. We'll discuss in detail. 2 years from the relevant date. If it is tax paid, yes, tax paid. If the return file, in return file. If it is exported, export date. So these kind of things are there. 2 years is the time within which you are supposed to file your RFD01, which is a refund application form. Right. Now, recent development is, because we are going to focus on more on the recent issues or contemporary issues. So if that's the case, what is the fate of the recent kind of anomaly happened there because of pandemic, during the pandemic time? During the pandemic, whatever has happened there has made the entire matter standstill. Between 1/3/2020 to 28 February 2022, a long period of about 2 years' time, is totally excluded. You can ask me that, what is the meaning of excluded, sir? What do you come to say? You believe that this period was not there in this world in your calendar at all. That's the meaning. If you can follow Tamil, you can easily understand. Naduvula konjam pakatha kaanum. That's all. These days are not there in the calendar. That's all. If these days are not in the calendar, what does it mean? Well, then you forget this. If you are working out the number of days, till 28 February 2020, you count. Then from 1/3/2020, you don't count. Then where from you are to count? 1/3/2022, you count. That's all. In this situation, if you are able to see that within 2 years' time, your application is made, fine, you are rightly making. Even after doing this, if you are not able to fix it, and if it is crossing beyond 2 years' time, it's time bar, nothing more than that. If these simple basics are there, as I promised you, it's not even crossing 3.5 minutes, right? If these basics are there, then our discussion will be relatively easier for you to follow as such. It's a broader picture of how the refund process is happening there. You need not worry, I will not overload you. What technically and professionally you need will certainly be assured, but I will not overload you. This is a broader picture. You can just have a quick look on this. Why I should know, as a chartered accountant in practice, why I should know the entire process actually. The problem really is the department is reasonably trained on these matters. Yes, of course, reasonably trained. I'm not denying I'm a trainer. They try their level best to train them. But much often what happens is due to various reasons, no need to explain in detail, there is always some kind of misunderstanding under-understanding, over-understanding, misinterpretation, unwarranted interpretation, reading it between the line, all these things are happening there from the learned officer side. The field formation, whatever education is given to them, still are failing in several areas as to the work, what they are supposed to do, what kind of powers they do have. They have their own confusions actually. Because all these days they have been trained with a revenue focus only, revenue collection only. See, the process of adjudication is very noble and holy one. It is not for one side. No doubt government is paying the salary. No doubt, of course. For the government, the taxpayer is the person who is paying. Then who is the real salary paying guy? It can only be a taxpayer rather. So the justice is supposed to be rendered by the officer between when the two parties are there, namely the government is employer, namely the taxpayer, the employer of the employer. Then fairness should be there. The problem here is they don't have complete knowledge in several situations and they act little enthusiastically or over enthusiastically. In that case, what happening is, as a chartered accountant, if you are not able to understand their process, you are not able to counter clearly that what kind of error is happening there from their side, what kind of deficiency is happening there from their side. We'll spend a minute's time on this and then we'll move to the core discussion. And I remind you, still we are not gone into the core discussion. These are all simple basics only. Now, the refund application is supposed to be made in RFD01 electronic form. You know very well. Let me say for 100 rupees, you make a application. I need 100 rupees. My ITC is accumulated. Within 1.5 years itself, I am making, or 1 year itself, I am making in this application. These are all the detailed annexes you are giving. Fine. Online, you upload it. You got a AR. When should you get your AR for this purpose? See, RFD02 is an acknowledgement given by the department, but only after preliminary scrutiny. I'm using the word preliminary scrutiny. What should be there is there or not. That's all the thing. On a broader level, they check. That's all. They don't go into the details actually. So they try to see that within 7 days they give the RFD. Sir, if they are not giving what? It's a standard question in India actually. See, this is one way you should not go. Sir, if I go, what will happen? This is due date for filing your return. Sir, if I'm not filing, what will happen? Invariably, Indians are interested to know that if I violate, what will happen? This happens because violations happens also. Nothing wrong in that. They are asking if the officer is violating, they are supposed to do it mandatorily. By and large, it happens actually. If not, you can always believe that it has been acknowledged within 7 days. They are supposed to, they did not do, then it is acknowledged. You can believe. But meanwhile, what can happen? If it is complete, it is happening there in RFD. If it is not there, within 15 days time, they create a kind of complete process and come to a decision that it is accepted on preliminary ground. If you come to this arena, if it is not complete, this is complete. If it is, this is incomplete. If it is not complete, they just give a RFD03 and say that please apply afresh. There are only 2 paragraphs. The problem, which is a menu-driven one, and one other column is also there. And it will say that please file afresh. That means that it is rejected. RFD03. Please remember, RFD03. If I'm stressing more, you will get a doubt because MCQ is there. And twice I'm telling. So there is a possibility of this can be there also. So I should not talk more than that. Fine. Okay. Coming to this one. RFD02 is there and you got an acknowledgement. Officer is processing the things, accepting this one. And maybe within short time, he is just coming back with the so-called 7 days time. So he's coming back with a provisional order or a final order, something like that. What is this provisional order? What is this final order? What is the need for this one? So you know very well that the 90% of the amount can be given. These are all the times I've been there. They were permitted on the basis of some good faith to proceed further. Things are nice. Even now also, a regular filing person in the regular the commissionerate or the jurisdiction is getting the process completed. Is the officer is bound to give the acknowledgement and immediately take up this provisional or final order for this purpose. Actually, once the formal acknowledgement is given there as a receipt, official receipt, 2 months time, rather officially I am supposed to say 60 days time is there for them to go for the final order. Within 60 days, if they are not doing what goes on, they have to pay with the interest. There are case laws and there even the section is also there. If it is not there, they have to pay 6% interest. Court decided interest actually, they have to pay. Generally, they don't do. They are getting into the possible things and practically how they do. Sir, you are saying that's fine. In practice, what is happening? Because somebody asked me, sir, do you know why all the time the tax law books are written as law and practice? Are we not having anything in law which is not relating to practice, or are we practicing something which is not written in law? Why it is law and practice? Always I'm seeing income tax, law and practice, corporate law and practice, criminal law and practice. See, everything you are having law and practice. Why is it two different things? It's a point. Of course, I gave a serious reply to him. That is a different one, but there is a point. On a lighter side, there is a point actually. So coming to this one, I was even saying RFD 02 should be given there. Normally speaking, the RFD 02 to RFD final or RFD 04 or 07 is not always within the given time actually. What kind of tricks they can do? Tricks. That's what I can easily say. Tricks. So what they can do is fine. Basically, things are satisfactory, but still, I have certain queries for which I am issuing show cause notice. But sir, you issued a RFD 02. Yeah, I accepted on a preliminary basis that you are given the details. But the details are not enough for me. I have this issue and I'm issuing the show cause notice saying that why should not I disallow this refund claim for these reasons? Give the reason to me, I will accept. That can be the way in which they can raise the notice. So by and large, the show cause notices are issued as a shield for buying time. That's what is happening there in practice. Doesn't mean that negatively nobody is giving refund, nothing is happening. In my personal experience, hundreds and hundreds of refund applications, I have personally seen it is getting perfectly cleared with due serious response from our side. Not a big problem at all. At the time, all those days are over. Those days are very old actually to say they're all history now. So things are moving very well. No doubt about that at all. But you have questions still. A lot of questions they are asking. And they want to question and they want to deny. They are trained to show impact sometimes. Because for everything he cannot say yes, because he is an officer and he is trained by revenue. He is trying to protect the interest of the revenue. He is a tax administering officer. He is tax enforcing officer. So he should say only yes is not the one to be expected. He can say no, much often no. You just go to him and ask him, sir, there is some exemption for me. There is an exemption. No. Sir, there is one circular which is in my favor, sir. No. No, sir, your commissioner itself has given a trade notice. Sir. No. Sir, but you are an intelligent officer, sir. No. It is coming out of without listening to the taxpayer's representation. Much often, no. Because they are trained. So why are you saying yes? Because he is having his own hierarchy. We cannot easily take it for granted. He is supposed to go into the details. If he is saying yes, he is personally responsible. If he is saying no, the department is responsible. Which will be selected? Naturally. So coming back to this one, this is a process. So if RFD 08 is issued to you, if you are giving the response, they may be accepting if it is acceptable response and they will give it. If they are not able to accept this one, they will simply say that we are issuing this partly only. The refund will not be given to you wholly. My RFD 06 is given to you, take it up. Balance, I'm rejecting it, he may say, or accepting your reply. He will say that the entire refund I'm giving, the so-called 100 rupees what you asked for, I'm giving you 100 rupees also. It's possible that. If he is something wrongly given to you or something like, he will reverse it. He will put a DRC 07 and say that this, I'm not accepting this, I'm reversing it and balance on it. So this is called as the entire picture of what is happening there in the refund process. So whenever you receive DRC 03, believe that your application is non-existing. They have boosted the application. It's not there. Again, you have to get into, check the details, see the problem, what he has told, address to that one. Advisably keep a very well explaining covering letter along with the application process, process related records. Make the application, it will reach there. This is point number one. Point number two is, sir, if I'm not getting an acknowledgement at all, what to do? Generally speaking, in the normal time they give. 15 days time is a normal time. If they are not giving, you can assume it, but they do give, or at least they bring to your knowledge that this is the error. And once it is given there, normally they are taking their own time to do all other things. If that is getting delayed, at least they try to see that before moving to the next level. 7 days they are not able to give the provisional refund, or they are not able to process the insult. 60 days are going to cross from the so-called error and date. What to do? At least they ensure that a show cause notice in the form of RFD 08 they give. So they keep the ball rolling. So out of this, you can always understand that if a very reasonable presentation is accustomed to do, then naturally your refund process will be quite fast. You can be able to see that you are influencing the officer by way of your proper records. Now we will enter into our core discussion matters. That's what I told you. if the simple basics are there in your mind, wherever, whatever I am referring to, you will not feel that as an alien subject actually, because it's already discussed and you know very well the subject. I'm not underestimating your knowledge. Now I reiterated or confirmed certain things, so you are comfortable with the basics. Now we will get into the core discussion. A refund, as popularly understood, is not from only two sources, only ITC related matter or inverted structure. So you only told before 11 minutes or 12 minutes that it's only from the major two categories. Yes, but that doesn't mean that they are exhaustive. You do have a very lengthy, about 10 sources from which refund in the GST can come out in practice, as you are able to see in the screen. As I was telling you, zero rated export to country outside India, Indian territorial area is there. Beyond that, whatever you are sending the goods or services, it will be fetching you the foreign exchange. Certain discussions are there about the foreign exchange within short time, but subject to that, exporting outside India is one major category. More or less, I can say 70 plus or 65% of the refund could be falling under this category, more or less. And the supply made by you to SEZ, which is a zero rated supply within the meaning of section 16 of GST Act, is also causing refund to the supplier because it is supplied to a SEZ. SEZ is supposed to be a foreign land for limited purpose of law. Otherwise, nothing. It's very much part of India. But for limited purpose of this law, you can believe that it's something like a foreign land. And because you know a lot of exclusions have been given there to SEZ. So in that sense, SEZ Act 2005 is having its own code. Within the meaning of that, you are sending from a domestic tariff area of India to special economic zone under the SEZ Act. So that is a case of an export. Or you can say that zero rated. Zero rated is the right word indeed. Right. A deemed export. We'll discuss in detail about the deemed export, section 147, notification 48, all these things we'll discuss. Then supply accepted by United Nations or embassy, including the amendment made on 7th November 2022. We have to discuss certain things. We will discuss. There is an appeal decision. You paid some amount, maybe under protest or otherwise. And in the adjudication level, you got an order against you. So the proper officer was not passing a proper order, rather. So you are unhappy with that, agreed by that, you go for an appeal, you went on an appeal and won it, you came back. And the appeals decision is in your favor. It says that you are eligible for that. So you have to collect the money back. So with reference to this appeal, you have to make a refund application. That's possible there. Or you will be paying instead of CGST, SGST, you will pay IGST. By mistake, it happens in practice. Or vice versa, it happens. Or entirely you would just doing something else and seeing that in a wrong code, something like instead of paying under state tax, you are paying under cess. Compensation is paid. You cannot use it rather. So no, sir, I will go for a PMT 09. It's always there. But when it is shifted, what to do? So with the same PAN number, if you are having it, you have facilities. But still, if you are having this amount unnecessarily paid, you are never going to, even by shifting, you are going to do anything at all. Then you can make a refund application. It's a wrongly paid amount. Tax code is missed or missed. Okay, so that is there. Inverted tax structure, section 54 again talks about this matter, subsection 3, limb 2. So inverted tax structure is there. As I was briefly explaining to you, the rate outward happens to be smaller. The rate inward happens to be bigger. All the time, this journey will be parallelly going this way. Always, this will be just encompassing this, a gap will be there. This gap is always going to be there. What to do with this gap? So if that's the case, we are supposed to see that we are setting it right. Right. Then, final assessment. What is this final assessment story? See, you can have a provisional assessment. Rule 90 is there. You can have a provisional assessment. The officer can do in section 60 a provisional assessment before getting the things completed. Because for doing a final assessment, there are certain environment needed for that. Complete information, complete adjudication-oriented information is needed actually. So you need all. If that is the case, when you need all these things, but to protect the revenue, you have to urgently ensure that a kind of an assessment is you provisionally assess it. Then you can do a final assessment subject to extensions given by the commissioner. And at that time, the final assessment is reading a number which is less than the provisional assessed number. means you are wrongly collected, the government has collected wrongly or more. So the person concerned can make an application to the refund. So why the person concerned should make application? You only passed a provisional order. You only passed a final order. You know very well it is excess. Give the refund. The mechanism is linked with a kind of liberty for a refund. They may credit to you or you can ask for a refund. It's up to you. So in that case also, if you are opting refund, you can definitely ask for a refund. Excess payment. You need not pay at all, sir. You need not pay, but you paid. Why did you pay? Paid. Wrongly paid. Now what to do? Go for a refund. You can ask for a refund and say that I have wrongly made this payment. Please give me a refund. Fine. This is another story. Then you do have pre-deposits made for the purpose of appeals actually. Again, as I was sometime back telling you, why should I ask for it? Give credit back if it is ITC, they will credit back. If it is a cash payment only as far as request is concerned, that may come to you. But to claim back, if you want the cash to be received by you, you can just make a refund application instead of leaving that in e-cash ledger. That is possible. Then the tourist refund, which is a very limited one. In fact, maybe statistics wise to say 1.76% is the 1.75% is the total amount refunded this way. The foreign tourist is coming there doing this, all these things and all, and spending in GST in India. Before leaving, if he is producing the original bills, those bills and a covering letter from his side itself is acting as a refund application for the purpose of this. Customs services are clearing the things, and along with the money, it goes out happily without paying tax to India, provided the goods mentioned in the invoice and the goods what he is carrying are indisputably matching. That's very important. Then it's okay, perfectly right. So this is a little smaller area, but still for the purpose of understanding, we just discussed. Before moving to the next 7 important set of matters to be discussed, this may be required for our members who are in practice. I'm a chartered accountant. My client comes and reports that the officer to whom he has made an application for refund of the excess paid money, wrong paid tax, wrong paid GST. He is advised that get a certificate from a chartered accountant. What certificate from the chartered accountant? You have to get a certificate as if you are just coming there and it's your savings bank. You paid and you collected. No, we cannot give. Go to your chartered accountant, get a certificate from him that there is no unjust enrichment. This is what the stand of the GST officer, learned officer is saying. The client is not convinced and he is directly coming and saying, sir, you give me a certificate. So then I cannot give you a certificate. Sir, I am a chartered accountant. What is the case of unjust enrichment in this matter? No, sir, there is one rule. 89.2L is there and parallelly 89.2M for smaller cases are there, 2 lakh cases. You have to give me the certificate. Because the officer says. Now, unless you are very clear about what is this concept, you cannot educate your client, in turn the client cannot educate the officer. So the point is, you know very well the concept of unjust enrichment. Unjust enrichment is coming when there is a mechanism of tax payment, tax credit. A is doing supply, B is receiving. Along with the goods or service, tax is also coming to B. B is selling the goods or supplying the services to another person, C. Along with the goods or services, is also going. This is a chain. So A gave to B, the ITC transferred from B to C, maybe C to D, DTE or a final customer, whatever it is. Now, only when this kind of credit taking mechanism is there, suddenly if our in our entire discussion that character B was there, he comes and says, Mr. Officer, I'm Mr. B, give me my refund. I have wrongly paid that amount. If he says, whether it is right, wrong is a different story. If he says that is a wrong amount, you should return to him. But what the officer is asking is, Mr. B, you are taken the ITC from Mr. A. Yes, sir, I took from A, but I gave the money to A. He has remitted to the government. So what is wrong in that if I am claiming this amount? Then the officer is saying that that's fine. In time you are sold to C also. Yeah, so what? So I told you so. But please remember, you have used these things and all in a chain. You are a part of the chain. How do I have any kind of justification or assurance for my revenue angle that this money, if I'm returning to you, is unduly enriching you? This is a question. Fair question. So, unduly enriching means what? I gave the refund to you. See, what is happening there? You collect money from C. Let me say 1 crore rupees of GST, 50 lakhs of CGST, 50 lakhs of SGST. So B is saying that I want the refund for some reason, whatever reasons we are going to discuss, some reason. If the officer is giving that 50 plus 50 lakh rupees to him, in all 1 crore rupees to Mr. B, now you see, Mr. B is a person who claimed the ITC on paying the money to A. A deposited the money. Now B is coming there. If B is the final person without having any person to continue further, the story is little different. Still, there is a difficulty. It is little different. So there is no one. I paid this money. So it is wrong. He has given to you, please give it to me. Because if he has not paid, I cannot claim at all. If he has paid, then give it to me. That's fine, at least fine. But the problem here is, how do the officer, poor officer, is having any kind of assurance that in no part of this country, B has transmitted the credit. If the money has gone to C, C will be making a request for ITC. So now you give the money to B, where C is saying that B has remitted the money to the government. See, what is the basic logic? The government is saying that pay one time, for value addition, further you pay. That's all the thing. Now, having said this, if you are paying the money to B and C is still claiming that I have collected the money, then what is the use of it? There's no point in that. So that is the reason why, for all these reasons, what the government is saying is, if you are able to prove that there is no unjust enrichment, we are ready to give any kind of refund what you are asking. Is the stand what the department is saying. So you can easily understand that whether this entire story is fitting to a wrong cash payment, e-cash payment. Right? I paid it. There is only one party who paid the money wrongly, me. I came and said that this is money I proved. Then there is a question of unjust enrichment. Lot of representations we have made successfully after a long, painful process. By 17th November 2021, department issued one circular 166 and said that, yes, in this kind of case and all, field formation should not disturb anybody, including chartered accountant, to give kind of declaration or certificate in this regard. So there is no need for giving this. If we can note this, then we can go to the next part of our discussion. Zero rated supply. I already told that instead of using the word just export, we may officially and technically use the word zero rated. What is the need for using the word zero rated? We are all learned people. We are supposed to have some clarity about the words actually, because it's only the terms which are making the difference. The right word should be used, and that is the right word only should be used, in fact. If you are missing it, you will not be able to get the idea. See, for example, when you are reading the law, why the words are very important. A particular word, only such words can be there. Or we'll just say why only is important. That's easy. In fact, the term only. Raju slapped Ramu on his right chin yesterday. One statement. Only statement, no accusation. Raju slapped Ramu on his right chin yesterday. That way we'll keep it. Okay. Only Raju slapped Ramu on his right chin yesterday. Ramu only slapped Raju on his right chin yesterday. Ramu slapped Raju only on his right chin yesterday. Ramu slapped Raju yesterday only on his right chin. Ramu slapped Raju on his right chin yesterday only. How many sentences? In every sentence, what is the difference? The word only is jumping from one place to another. After all, 5-6 words, making 5-6 different sentences with a different meaning. So, law has got its own nuance. Nuance, not nuisance actually. Okay, nuance. So, if we read the law with that kind of focus on law, we will be able to easily understand. Not a big problem at all actually. We are all used to do this kind of painful study and all very easy. These are all small things. For a chartered accountant like you, the challenges thrown by the GST law and all are very simple. You can easily manage. I know well, I have a lot of confidence in you. You can easily manage. Coming to this point, Section 16(1) of the IGST Act is saying that what is a zero rated supply? Any goods or services are both, which are supplied as an export of goods or services are both, or supply of goods or services are both to the SEZ. So when you are making export out of country, or when you are supplying to the SEZ, both are falling under zero rate. As I was telling you, why I should use the word zero rate? You don't collect tax for the export or SEZ supply. So it is exempted. No, it's not exempted. It's taxed at 0 rate. Sir, both are same, sir. Not same. Not same. What it is clearly communicating by words itself, because these words will be of greater use when you are trying to apply the law. A lot of difference it will create. 0 rated is the one which is telling that it is taxable, but at 0 rate. Then what about exempted, sir? What about the nil, sir? What about non-GST, sir? They have their own meaning. Nil rated goods are rated at nil. That's what we are also saying, sir. That's same, not same. Exempted is the one which is exempted from the payment of tax. Actually, it is taxable. They exempted, but this is not exempted. Actually, it is taxable, taxed at 0. Then, if you are taxing at 0, will you tax at 5% in future? Yes, possible. Possible. Now it is not taxed, and over a time also it will not be taxed. That's what it is. Now coming to this one, this 0 rated goods, we will understand the logic more clearly. Let us not spend time on this matters a lot, because a lot of things yet to be discussed. But what you can notice, 0 rated supplies had a lot of issues in the past, all got settled. But unfortunately, a small sector even today in this country is following disputed or not so disputable matter actually. In other words, if you are supplying to SEZ unit, the words are very clear in this law, unlike the past law in Central Excise or especially in the Finance Act 1994 service tax. If you are supplying to, okay, if you are supplying to the contractor of the special economic zone, please read it. Is it a supply to SEZ? Now you read it. 0 rated supply. 0 rated supply to a 0 rated the SEZ developer or SEZ unit is the word. You can see that the circle is covering specifically to. So if you are supplying to SEZ, that's perfectly okay. Are you supplying? That is the end of all your confusions. You will not have any problem at all. Now, coming to this one. This simple knowledge will be of greater use to you when you are proceeding further. As I told you, section 54, rule 89, some 9 CBIC, today CBIC, earlier it is CBEC, CBIC notification or circulars will give you a fair idea about what we are supposed to do. And a little more study and hands-on practice in GST and portal will be of greater use to you to be a successful professional, to get the benefit to your clients in a perfect manner. Now, we'll get into this. These crossed matters I don't want to discuss, all old stories, forget about it. Now in the past 2.5, 3 years time, what is happening there, we'll discuss. Not at 3 years, now it is 4 years. You can make exports, means 0 rated transaction, using letter of undertaking or without using that letter of undertaking by paying. Technically speaking, use LUT, don't pay. This is called as WOPAY route, without payment route. Pay the tax, make the export is with payment option route. That is WPAY, with payment route. You can ask one question simply. Sir, it is very clear that it is 0 rated. Now only you explained also. I am very much aware. Having known very well that it is 0 rated, why one should, a prudent person, why one should go for a payment? Not necessary at all. Don't pay. Why should I pay? Why should I go for a refund? I need not pay, I need not claim. Perfect. But why do we have the payment route also, for which a lot of takers are there? Why? See, in case of letter of undertaking route, what happens? You are an exporter. For easy conversation purpose, we'll just say, take an example. You did a turnover of 40 crores, entire ITC is accumulating, all 40 crore rupees is pure export. Perfect, easy. No formula stories and all. Let's just forget about it. That's this case. Then what will be the eligible refund for me? Yes, entire refund for me. If you are not paying any tax at all on the 0 rated transaction, namely exports, whatever input tax credit which is accumulating to you is going to be available to you as refund. Oh, that's fine, sir. It's okay. Then we'll stop with this. But what about this payment route? Why should we go for it? What is the logic in that? If my client is coming and asking, what should I tell to him? There is a serious reason for that also. See, in case of letter of undertaking route, in a periodic manner, you are making an application this way, and it is having its own nuance and nuisance. If you want to encash the money reasonably with a better speed, and there is a trick also. In a later part, I will just tell you how you are gaining a little edge over this matter by following the route of payment route in certain cases. You try to make the payment and say that the payment is made in which manner? Using your IDC. Having made the payment, if you are supplying the goods, those are linked with the shipping bills directly. Your reference is given there. So if you are making goods properly, ICAI records are reading it clearly, your refunds are automatically coming there because every goods sent by you with a shipping bill is creating a refund track properly to you. You are getting eligible for the refunds on your own easily. Every time when you are doing this, it is happening there. So you need not make a specific application in this matter. You are able to see that it is easily getting linked. So we are not seeing in practice that way now. There are some need in practice to explain certain things, no doubt about it, but it is relatively faster in certain cases. On the basis of certain cases, we will be able to decide. Detailed discussion we'll have about this within short time of the next point. Now we'll have a quick discussion on the guidance given for practical purpose. Actually. Have LUT, whether you are supplying a zero rated outside country or whether you are supplying zero rated supply to the SEZ only, have LUT in your hand advisably. This will help you to see that a very clear case of zero rated supply is made by you and without payment of tax. Very important. It's easy. So if I'm not having LUT, what will happen? It's a standard question. If I forgot to have the LUT, what will happen? Having LUT, making an application is the process given there. For reason beyond your control, if you are not able to have the LUT on that day and subsequently or later you are getting it, you can present. But there is no reason which you can say that I don't have LUT. We'll say the reason. Why you should say that always you will have. That we'll explain. Now, this is another thing, except Nepal, Bhutan, and some other areas. So you are permitted to go for this. The bond stories and all are not there. LUT is fairly enough. Even now, LUTs are playing a very good role. And whether I should collect in foreign exchange or not, section 2, subsection 6, if we go through relating to service and all, it reads very clearly as far as export of service is concerned. You should collect the money in convertible foreign exchange. Convertible foreign exchange, CFE is mandatory. So if I'm not collecting in foreign exchange, what will happen? As long as permitted by the Reserve Bank, you may collect in rupees also. Nothing wrong. It is eligible. You supply to SEZ in India, sir. Is it going to pay any amount in foreign exchange? They are going to pay in Indian rupees. Nothing wrong with that. And you do have some kind of, except this Asian cluster units, the clearing units, other units are there where you can, the government has permitted officially from November 2021 in specific. And recently also it was clarified by the Reserve Bank of India. You can always make a process of export for the specified countries on the basis of understanding. You can collect the money in rupees. You can enter into the deal in rupees. So if it is permitted by Reserve Bank to collect the money in Indian currency, that is fairly enough for the purpose of compliance with the foreign exchange in convertible format. You need not go for foreign currency itself. Check the facts on the case specificness. Now I will come back to this. So I told that LUT is very easy. You can't say the reason that it is difficult, so I missed it. Without that, I made an export of service or goods. You cannot say it is so easy. You told how it is easy. Is there a reply? Just go to your GST portal using your login. Just get into these services. Go to the user services menu, and you do have an option in the menu. Furnish the letter of undertaking. You click it. And on clicking that, you are able to see that this kind of screen is coming there with a simple detail, which is all pre-filled. Everything is pre-filled. Only your name and witness address, proof address you will be typing. Nothing you will type. Nothing. And if by chance, incidentally, if you are having a LUT of the previous year, that PDF copy you will attach. So this is the first year. So don't attach anything. Leave it. So what about the witness address proof? Nothing. Be honest. Don't give the dead person's witness account. So somebody who is really there, just give the witness reference here. That's all. That's all means what will happen, Sani. What you told is a matter of only 25 seconds. Yes, 25 to 30 seconds. 31st second, you will see this acknowledgement on the screen. That's all. Nothing more than that. Just click, go inside, we'll see. Nothing more than that. Is it really so simple? Really so simple. You can try. Any one of you can easily try. It's so easy. You will not be getting troubled at all. And so fine, okay, sir, this is after all acknowledgement for LUT. Where is the LUT? You told that LUT I should hold, but this is only acknowledgement. This acknowledgement is acting as very LUT itself. So do you come to say that I can make a 25 seconds work on online using my login and get my LUT on my own? Yeah, that's all. That's all. Sir, what about this approval from the officer? Nothing. What about this kind of subsequent confirmation from nothing? If he has to revoke, he will come back for some reasons. That has never happened there to my knowledge, ever anywhere. There is nothing to seriously revoke or LUT given already. Because it's an undertaking given to you. That's all. There is nothing for him to approve. You are undertaking, sir. What is the undertaking actually? Letter of undertaking, letter of undertaking. What is the undertaking by the exporter? I give assurance to the President of India. See, our level are big actually. Please understand that. We straight away give to the President assurance. Honorable President, Her Excellency will just give directly. President, don't worry. I'm a good taxpayer exporter. I will collect foreign exchange. I will be bound by the provisions of IGST law. Ensure that everything is properly done by me. If I'm not doing it, you can collect the tax from me. Today, I'm just going to do a zero rated transaction. So for the whole year, I will be doing this. I'm giving assurance to you. That's all. This is the undertaking. Now, the interesting point is, if you are taking this kind of undertaking, what is the validity period of this? 1 year. 1 year from the date to the another 365 days? No. You take at any point of time during the year, it's open all the 365 days, like your ICAI's admission is open for all students all the days. Anytime it is open. You can go inside, get yourself registered. It will get a expiry on 31st March of the financial year. I take on 1st April 2022, sir. Till 31/3/2023, it is eligible. No, sir, I took on only 25th March 2023. It's okay. It will work out for 31st March of that year. Then what I should do? Next year on 1/4/2020, you just make another application. The same 25 seconds. What are you going to invest? Only 25 seconds. You get it. That's all the thing. Nothing more than that. So such an easy letter of undertaking is the first step you have to advise to your client for the purpose of getting a refund and doing a zero rated transaction officially and fruitfully. Right. Having seen this one, I got the so-called letter of undertaking very clearly. But I did an export, whatever you said, fine, okay. Having done this exports and all, why I'm not able to get my refund properly? See, common problems we'll quickly see and solutions parallelly we'll see. Because if I'm saying the solution separately, it will not sync or it may not be comfortable for you to recall. So better I will just tell then and there, it will be easy for you to recall. Now, when you are doing service to or supply of goods to SEZ, the recipient SEZ could have classified himself wrongly as a regular person in their status. So why he should wrongly classify? Think gone wrong. We are seeing in practice a lot of time. Immediately we used to, out of practice, we can say that this is wrong. We just ask your SEZ person to correct it. You will first deny. Then we will get into the website and check it up and say that, sorry, sir, yes, what you told is right. It is wrongly classified by us. We'll correct ourselves. So if he is putting the status as regular instead of an SEZ unit, because SEZ unit is coming there in the bottom. So regular is coming there as a normal person in the top. When it is coming there in the top, naturally it is quite normal for any person to say that, okay, this regular, okay, regular. So that may be the reason. If that is the case, your export will not be treated as a zero rated export at all by the form. It's a form, that's all. It will not understand anything on its own. What has been given to it, it will understand, that's all, nothing more than that. Because machines are meant as such to do what they have been instructed. So regular, class under regular, SEZ, put under SEZ. You just give these details and are in para 6B. And then in the GSTR1, it is linked. Read it as GSTR1. So, and it is linked. And para 3.1b is there. There you are linking as zero rated transaction of GSTR3B. Then it is linked that. Then it's fine. It is able to understand. Okay, under 6B of GSTR1 and under para 3.1b of 3B. Both are there and it is working. Okay, fine. It can understand. It will link to the ICAI. ICAI will be having the export details in case of goods. It will link and say that fine, everything is fine. It will get matched to your transaction will be over. you are treated as a flawless exporter, zero-rated exporter, because machines are understanding that way. But unfortunately, as I was telling you, if the SEZ is classifying itself wrongly as regular, what will happen? The machine will understand that he is a local guy, domestic tariff area guy. But you are claiming that I sent you an SEZ, not matching. Then never it will show. You will say zero-rated. It will say B2B. You will never match it at all. That may be the serious reason for it. So in that case, there is a possibility of miss or mess as a case. Now, okay, fine, sir. Now I got it. But what should I do by advising my SEZ customer? Because that guy, if he is not properly updating himself, I'm in trouble. So I have to educate him what to do. So there's a simple procedure to give his details, like what his mail ID and what is the registration certificate issued by the DC, that is Development Commissioner of SEZ, and also the contact phone number and reference purpose. And if you are giving to the specified mail ID, reset.sez@gst.gov.in, then you will get your problem solved. So it's so easy, and they are doing it now. Generally, they do a very good service. But I don't want to deny the facts of the practice also. See in the screen, what is the number of the reminder you see here? Practically it happens. Sometimes SEZ doesn't respond actually. 12 reminders had to be sent in certain cases, and then it got cleared. Of course, that is also there. They cleared. There is some problem. We don't know. We are not aware that what could be the right reason for that kind of so much delay. It happens actually. Now, coming back to this one, such zero-rated SEZ, some clarity is there. Export, perfect export of goods. Say for example, export of service. I do good service. I'm saying to say for Ireland, Australia, Colombia, or Canada, very clearly I'm making an export with bill of entry is there. Bill of lading is there, shipping bill is there, everything is there. What is wrong with it? See, perhaps there may be a possibility of wrong shipping bill number reference in your GST return when you are filing one. Your shipping bill date might have gone wrong. Sometimes the port code would have gone wrong. Much often we are seeing this kind of mistakes again. So when you are doing this kind of erroneous data presentation in the GST returns, things are going. That is the reason why please educate your clients. A chartered accountant's work at the time of filing the returns is not just merely crunching the numbers, just placing the numbers here and there, using some low grade and untrained assistants and doing. We don't do that at all. There are a lot of consultants who are not serious at all, who are not professionals at all. They do something meaninglessly. All the mess is ending up in some other huge damage. But the money what the client is paying as a fees to the chartered accountant never goes wrong, never goes waste. It's perfect. He is paying a very little money, rather is getting the best benefit because the chartered accountant is getting himself trained again and again on this kind of issues like you, as you are getting yourself trained. So this is not a simple job. Any person who is filling the form is not a GST consultant. How it is possible? Then they are supposed to have the complete knowledge about the law when you are. It's not a form filling work. If somebody says that I can file IT return, so I am a chartered accountant. How it is possible? You are able to fill up a form, but that form is right or wrong within the meaning of law. Only a chartered accountant can say. A trained, experienced, and quality chartered accountant can say. How they can say that any person who is filling the form is a chartered accountant? It's not possible. He's not a consultant at all. Anyway, coming back to this one, if that kind of error is there, please use para 9A for the purpose of correcting your error subsequently to see that this bills corrections and things are happening there. Because the error in the table 6A is hitting very badly, ICAI is immediately released. You can always ask, so sometimes when I file the form GST R1A, immediately within 10 to 20 seconds, the client registered mail is getting a mail saying from ICAI that the data is not syncing. Some mail is coming. I don't know where, from what, who is doing. I don't know what else. Suddenly it comes. That's what I say. Just immediately get into the so-called years or months GST R1 and that particular 6A you just say. You will be able to convince yourself that there is a grave error in referring the data. The data would have gone wrong, maybe due to clerical error or something like that. So you can always have a two-filter check before the furnishing of the returns. So if you do that one, it will be okay. Or you can just use table 9A to the extent it is permitting the corrections. You can do subsequently, see that it is happening. So some of my clients are EOU, some of my clients are SEZ. They do also export. Whatever you are talking are all about, it appears to be a case of a domestic tariff area exporter only and is refund only. But will my client SEZ or EOU not have any special provision at all? No. No more special provision for SEZ exporter, EOE exporter. Exporter is exporter. That's all. Whatever we are talking about, this refund process, export related matter are all applicable. Mutandis, mutandis, or rather I can use the word exactly, not mutandis, mutandis, exactly to them. Nothing different. All are same. No difference between them. So, having discussed this point, I exported some goods without payment of IGST because I have LUT. I told you WOPAY option without payment. Why I am not able to get the refund of accumulated ITC? What could be the practical problem for me? It's a serious issue, core issue to get into. Why I am having this problem? What are all the possibilities in this regard actually? See, much often you can just easily imagine what I am going to explain to you. You as an exporter purchase the goods from the supplier. Supplier sends the goods, let me say, from Chandigarh. The goods are reaching all the way from Chandigarh to, let me say, Telangana, Karimnagar. Let me say, example. So on 29/10/2022, our Haryana supplier sent the goods. Naturally, the goods are traveling due to heavy weight of the goods. It is having a journey of about, let me say, about 11-12 days time. It reaches to Karimnagar only on 10/11/2022. Remember, 29/10/2022 is the date on which goods sent. From that place to this place, 12 days it takes. October supply is the one what is going to be reported by the Haryana supplier. He filed the returns. But you can take the credit as a person who is going to do the supply, maybe export purpose, only on the date on which you are getting the goods, because physically you should receive the goods. Goods came to you in November. Now things are going well, you make an application, you just do all your works, value addition, all these things, and all 15%, 20% value addition, you export it. You make an application for the tax period by RFD 01. They are asking you to put an annexer B for this purpose, schedule 3, these are all given there. You give a preparation for that one. In that preparation, what you say is, I have this ITC during this month. A mechanical comparison by the learned officer is making him to understand that it is a wrong claim of ITC. You say that is not wrong at all. I have clearly mentioned, no, we are not able to find out. Where did you have this? Sir, the goods are supplied this month only. No, it is there in October. You should have claimed in October. Fine, you make an application in October. He says, how do you take a credit? The goods are just on the 29th, late evening only, starting from Haryana. When did you get the goods and how do you get a credit in October itself? Neither in October you are permitting, nor in November you are permitting. When can I claim the credit? So this kind of practical problem can be there. We are supposed to explain. That is the reason. You can always be wondering, sir, you are so easily explaining this that it is easy to do it. Then where is the question of fighting and getting the refund? Confusions from the learned officer said, where from it comes? You can always ask. This kind of issues only will be the reason for this kind of issue. So sometimes you claim on ITC. Unfortunately, without your knowledge, the supplier is making an entry relating to credit note. You are not aware. Or what's happening there is he is giving some invoice numbers. You are just referring some invoice numbers of his actually. Mild difference is there. Say in our example, let me say, the invoice is reading of the Haryana guy, HAR. I don't know why he is using, he's all the way living from his childhood to the death only in Haryana. But for some reason he said that HAR stroke 0073 stroke so and so date. That is his style of invoice. And this HAR is printed there as a standard one in the invoice itself. You as a person who is receiving the ITC, you have punched certain details and prepare your RFD form and all, use the reference without that word HAR. Maybe. Or that Haryana accountant, Haryana suppliers accountant by mistake might have missed that HAR and would have filed the GSTR one from his side. The goods are coming to you. That is a possibility. There is a possibility of this happening there. So in this kind of matters and all, there is a possible dispute or difference between what you are claiming and what is appearing to be prima facie eligible ITC. So in that sense, there is a possibility of dispute between you. So you go into this one, you see what is the credit available. This much amount is available there as my credit in the this one. You get into the details. You make up an application. The application is a very simplest one. Believe me, it's one of the very easy application what you can see in your lifetime. Most of the things are auto-populated. Only in 3 places you are supposed to fix your numbers. It shows reasonably the figures. What are all warranted for the purpose of this? What are all the figures required is very simple list actually. Your total turnover for that period. Total turnover or gross turnover for the tax period. So why are you not using the word month? See, I'm using the word tax period for one simple reason. Law is not forcing you to file every month regularly a monthly refund application. So do you come to say that I can file 3 months together? Yes. Okay. Or do you come to say that I can file 5 months together? Yes, you can. You can. Nothing wrong in that. Provided you have all these basic details. No, sir, I want every month. Go. You can go for it. See, as long as time limit is maintained by you perfectly, validity is not violated, you have got all right to go for this. So is there any upper limit for what period I can go for it? See, we know practically large data will be there. You have to scan and attach it. You have to put a long annexer with so much of columns. If that is the case, how much longer period you would like to take? Depending upon the case. If it is reasonable, say some 10 pages or 8 pages, it is okay. The summary itself is coming for 8 pages, 5 pages. It's fairly enough. There we should stop. If it is 2 months, fine, make it as 1 month. If it is 1 month, fine. Okay, this is the maximum period by which you can come down. Enough. So that way, if you present, it is presented. So as we are able to see in the screen, you are able to make the application there, and the application is coming there. This is a format. So as I was telling you, what is the total turnover? In this turnover, you will not have this exempted, non-GST, nil rated, and all will not come there. Zero rated will come. Zero rated is a taxable turnover. Zero rated is not an exempted turnover. That is the reason why I just told that the total number will come here, where you will understand that zero rated is a keyword for this purpose. It is not about nil, it is not about exempted. They are not coming under this turnover at all. So the turnover which are taxable is this. Of the taxable turnover, how much is the zero rated turnover? You are mentioning the zero rated turnover here. And having mentioned that one, you are arriving at a input tax credit which is eligible for. So how can a maximum refund amount can be decided by a machine? Why machine should decide? We will decide. It's nothing but what you are able to see in the screen. The turnover for a zero rated supply purpose during that tax period divided by the adjusted total turnover, which is nothing but the taxable turnover during the taxable period, multiplied by net eligible input tax credit. Sir, you are often using the word net input tax, net input. What is the meaning of this net input tax? Input tax, I know. What is this net input tax? There are possibility of erroneous input tax credit coming to you in your return also. Voluntarily, you will reverse. Knowing well that the guy has not filed his return, you will reverse. There are some aspects which you will not be aware at the time of taking credit, like a staff welfare you would have taken by mistake, or maybe a prevented credit under section 17(5), like your life insurance on the car, or life insurance on the human being, or the car insurance, the car repair, or staff welfare. So many things are there. Construction related, capital goods related matters, you would have taken credit. That if you remove it, net input tax credit is coming there. So this formula is simply saying that you do have 69,000 rupees, you are eligible for 69,000 rupees of refund. Very simple. It's very clear. Now, having discussed this particular point, you will be able to see that how much will be the eligible credit. You are able to see here how much is the balance available now. So it's slightly appearing to be tricky. So actually, you just read the word. It is saying certain words and listing out the credit available there. And the balance available today is also it is listing out, and then only it is going to the refund game. What is this? It is very, very simple. See, at the time of taking credit, what was your electronic credit ledger balance during the end of the so-called tax period is automatically generated here, auto-generated. Today, how much is the ITC you are having? It is generated. Sir, I took the credit on the day it was eligible. Why it is seeing now? It's simple. Only when you are having that ITC even today without using, you can ask the government that, sir, it is lying unnecessarily. Madam or sir, please give me the refund. It's lying there. Sir, now it is increased. Ah, very good. Already it was there and additionally it has increased. Certainly it is accompanying this also. accommodating this also. That means that 69,006 rupees was my credit at the time of tax period end. That credit has now bulged into 1.06 lakhs today, 1.07 lakhs. That means that certainly IGST credit of 69,000 rupees I am having. Being a 100% exporter, if you are applying the formula, I am eligible maximum amount of 69,000 rupees. I am applying for 69,000 rupees only. Why also you can go for if the formula is working out. But I am applying for 69,000 rupees. Please give me the refund. Very clear. So this is something like a flow of water. See, somewhere in, let me say in Karnataka, you pour one pot of water inside a Kaveri. Into the Kaveri, you put one pot of water. The Kaveri is all the way coming to Tamil Nadu, somewhere near, let me say, Tanjavur in Tamil Nadu. You want to take back that one pot of water. This is what is happening there in refund. Now, when you are taking this water, the Kaveri administrator, a kind of character, imaginary character will have. The Kaveri administrator is stopping you and asking, wait, what are you doing? I have my right to take back my water of one pot of water. When did you give one pot of water? No, at Karnataka, near Talakaveri, I just did this. And there is a confirmation. Yes, from there it is coming or not. That is what ITC confirmation. So all the time it is flowing and it is keeping on coming. That is what your journey of e-credit lecture. Then in Tanjavur, you are able to see that you are taking one pot of water, confirming and assuring that you are taking that part only. So how that one part is coming here? That is a way in which only you have to see this. 69,006 rupees is there. At the time of taking, more than 69,006 rupees is there, you take. You come to Tanjavur, but there is only a dry land, unfortunately. Much often we used to see. This year it's okay. There is only dry land. Then what you will do? You cannot take. Now here also, in the second column, if you are seeing here, instead of 69,000 rupees, if it is only 10,000 rupees, you will eligible for only 10,000 rupees. So how it is fair? I gave one pot of water, now it is dry here. Now it is dry. It is consumed. You cannot take. The same way it is. It's nothing but a water flowing in the river. This is a ITC river. Okay. You pour someday, you took back another day. That's all the thing. Nothing more than that. Now, this is the last page, and after seeing this one, we'll give confirmation for this after giving this annexes. We will save it, make a preview of this one, and then proceed with the application filing. Quite simple. So the annexer format, what you are uploading is validated actually. Even if you are giving erroneous numbers or things, it will get validated and say that this is not right. In case of SEZ, very nicely it is going back to the SEZ website and doing necessary kind of validation process and comes back. Very good software actually. Earlier days it was trouble like anything. We spoiled our time a lot actually. Nowadays it's quite nice. There is no serious problem to make any complaint or issues about these things at all. Right? Now we'll come to this question actually. I do have a kind of inward supply for which I am making the payments actually, right? Now outward payments are there. Compound levy, compensation cess levy is also there. Can I claim? You said that IGST I can claim as refund, CGST I can claim as refund, SGST I can claim as refund. That is the case. Compensation cess also can be there. Can I claim this or not? You can claim, but is it there as part of goods which are sold? And the taxation is covering that also. In simple words, outward goods covered by compensation cess levy is causing this. The notification is clearly saying that if you are not having that part, it is not possible at all. It's very clearly preventing. In fact, you can see that process actually. If you are not having compensation cess outward, you will not be able to claim at all. Outward should be there, then you can claim it. Just because you are taken the compensation cess credit ITC in your hand and not able to use it at all in your so-called goods, it is not possible. Shall we go for a simple example? Coal, maybe chapter 27, something like that, 27A08. You purchased coal, 5% GST, maybe 2.5 plus 2.5 or 5%, whatever it is. This coal, coal or cooking coal or steaming coal, whatever coal it is. This coal, what you are purchasing is making you to pay compensation cess in India or even during the import also, whatever it is. You paid compensation cess. You took the credit of this. Having taken the credit of this, then you are just going for a refund request, right? When you are making a refund request to the department, whether you are selling the coal and it is subject to compensation, this is the question. If it is there, you can go for it. There is a controversy now in this regard. If time permits, we will just discuss about that particular point actually. Okay, because once you are having compensation cess, whether it is eligible or not is a very big debate actually. And how it is linked, why it is not allowing, all these questions are there. We will discuss within short time. Now, the next point, as a GST refund enthusiastic person, you may well be interested to know is this point actually. Much often the non-resident input service distributor or even the compound levy assessee are all making their own return filing process completed. But if you are asking some of them to say that you cannot come for a refund, what will happen then? Whether a compound levy assessee cannot pay an excess amount at all, they can. They can also do wrongly. A non-resident is paying wrongly an amount. Why should not he? He can also. So in these cases and all, a reference to GST 1 and 3B will not be there. Respective returns are totally different. You know, the returns are applied for that. So you will be filing some of the GST 5, 7, 9 and all. Then what will happen to them? So those cases and all, don't worry about this. Circular is supporting you. You do not bother about it. You can just go for a refund if it is having a fair case, otherwise factually right. Then you go to the another point of our discussion. Letter of undertaking is there. You forget about the bond. Bond is not a story at all. It's a whole story now. Letter of undertaking is there. It is required for zero rated transaction, right? But is it required for a exempted or non-GST transaction when you are doing the export of exempted? So how exempted goods or nil rated goods can be exported? Yeah, why not? Why not? Say chapter 10, rice, 1006. You export rice, unbranded, simple goods, not falling under this so-called 25 kgs or all stories and all it. It's a simple unbranded goods you export. Or a fresh vegetable. So how vegetable can be exported? Yes, exported. Fruits are exported. Flowers are exported. Vegetables are exported. So we are doing this one if it is nil rated or exempted or non-GST itself. Say for example, just for example, a liquor is sold non-GST goods. If it is sent outside India as an export, what will be the situation there? An exempted service, namely the education service, is rendered from India to outside India. It is exported within the meaning of all these place of supply rules. Then what will happen? For these things and all, if as an exporter of service or exporter of goods, you do have accumulated ITC, you are eligible for refund. You are eligible for it. So this is zero rated goods, you can claim a refund. But how for an exempted goods or service I can claim a refund? The moment your exempted goods are crossing Indian border, the moment your exempted services are moving out of India as per the place of supply provisions, they are coming under a single colored item, zero rated supply. That's all. In this process, incidentally, if you have consumed any eligible ITC for this process, you are entitled to claim the refund. Very clear. Exempted, but you have input services or goods which are relating to your exempted supply outside India, or nil rated goods outside India, or non-GST goods or service outside India. Certainly, the accumulated credit will be giving you necessary support when you are making RFD 01. Now we are moving to serious and very important aspects further. You will have two important notifications, 40/2017 and 41/2017. Both are integrated tax related notifications. The benefit and things, what is there in that one, we'll explain now. Before that one, when we are trying to read Rule 9610, there are certain provisions which are a little confusing because it is read together with the customs provision of 13th October 2017 also. And it is having 78, 79 both references. What they are trying to say simply is you cannot have two applicants for a single export process. Export process is supported by somebody, but really executed by another person. So in that situation and all, you cannot have two applicants. That is the summary of the entire matter, what is that actually. Now, this has been explained there in May 2008 circular also. You can always ask one question, sir, always you are talking about exporter, refund for exporter, all zero rated, fine, all these things. So somebody is supporting the so-called zero rated guy. What will be the relief for him? Will he not give any relief at all? Because I am a supplier in, let me say, Hyderabad. My real exporter is there in, let me say, in Chennai. From Hyderabad, I sent raw materials to the Chennai guy, and the Chennai guy is selling with a minor tuning of certain things, subject to certain things, what I'm going to tell, and he is exporting. This is one scenario. I am in Hyderabad, I am a supplier. I do have one exporter, real exporter in Chennai. I send the goods to Chennai as a sales under interstate transaction. He simply, I use the word exactly, simply exports, that's all. Same goods. In this situation, if I'm charging 18%, 28% and all on this so-called poor exporter, the credit will keep on increasing to you. What the guy will do? He has to go for a refund. See, why are you making me to tax an exporter knowing very well that he's an exporter? Then why are you asking him, the poor exporter, to come for a refund? There could be some arrangement. No, he's there. He's there. In case of goods only, it is there. What you can do is, if you do, in my example, it was IGST. Let there be an arrangement and understanding properly between the so-called exporter in Chennai and the so-called supplier in Hyderabad in the following manner. That is, Hyderabad wala will supply the goods to the Chennai exporter with an assurance from the Chennai exporter that within 90 days time, the goods shall be exported without fail. He will maintain proper records for the goods received and goods sent, and you will be able to relate this without making the verifying officer dissatisfied. If this assurance can be there, few other certain things are there. Let us not discuss in detail about it. If they are, we can definitely go for it. You read notification number 41/2017, you will get very clarity on this matter. What I told is the best possible summary of this. That's what is told in much better words actually. That's all. But now your question is, sir, even though they are asking me to pay 0.1%, so why they? You only told that it need not be a pain. See, please understand the logic in this. Government is saying that an exporter is supposed to purchase in India by paying the tax only because till he exports, he is also a normal B2B party in India. Unless and until I ensure that the goods are going out of India, I don't have any kind of assurance to claim myself that I'm an exporter. I'm a chartered accountant. I am rendering my service in India. How can I, with authority, say that I will always export the service outside India and I'm an exporter only? Or I will do 55% of my service outside India only, I am exporting. How can I say? Only when I'm achieving, we are able to see these things. Then if that is the case, how to decide this? Correct. How to decide this? That is where the government did a simple cross-check mechanism. All the purchases of an exporter, though he is exporter, let it come with GST, let him buy. We will give him refund. Now, there is a clear understanding on a party-to-party basis. You are an exporter, I am a supporter. I am supporting you, please send the goods outside India. My officer having jurisdiction over me, closely watching both of us. Whether I do supply properly, whether you do receive that one, whether you do the export of that one safely, he is clearly watching. In case of input materials also subject to certain 15% additions expected, the same thing is happening there. So if it is closely watched, where is the need for making them to pay fully? Not necessary. Sir, even now you have not answered the question. Why they are charging that so-called 0.1% or 0.05 plus 0.05? They can leave it. No. Only when there is a token tracking available, the law enforcing department can ensure that fraudulent things are not happening. There should be a link. If the link is missing, they will not be able to track. See, See, for example, instead of paying 18% or 28% IGST, 0.1% is a very small number. You need not cry that your exporter customer has not given the money, saying that some turmoil is there in the foreign market and he is not clearing your payment. You need not worry and cry. It's only 0.1%. Even if this fellow is not paying, you can pay out of your packet after 2 months, let him pay. Chalega, fine, nothing wrong in that, right? So if that is the case, this is very beneficial one and you can try, but caution. Always ensure that this kind of deals are entered into between very well-known parties only. Because entirely the system of this benevolent provision is depending upon the honesty of two parties. You can enter into your own sister concern. So the belief is that they will not do anything wrongly. That is a belief. That's all, nothing more than that. So if that is the case, you will be able to safely do it. Fine. Having discussed that point, yet another last but three important matters. What is deemed export? Export is okay, sir. What is deemed export? When the law will deem that as an export? Oh, fine, sir. You told already. The supply to SEZ is there. No, that is what you know. No, sir. The supply to EOU is deemed export. Yes, it is there. But why you are saying no to SEZ? Why you are saying yes to EOU? Section 147 of the CGST Act is clearly defining only 4 items as deemed one. It should be notified, it is notified. That's why I'm saying 147 says that what is deemed export, law will notify. Now this is notified, the CBDT or CBIC notified these 4 items only as of 1. Supply of goods by a registered person against the advance authorization. What is this advance authorization? A new story. What is this? See, whenever I want to export from India, still I do have a lot of needs to get some inputs and ingredients for my product from outside the country. In simple words, first I should import, then I should export. Okay. What is the advance authorization's role in this? Why that is deemed as an export? We don't have any clarity. What is this new concept? It's always settled one. Already settled one. The entire picture is whenever you are making me an importer to spend my foreign exchange heavily on imports, and you make me to spend on customs duty huge amount, somewhere around 27 to 31% extremely, I spend huge money on this, huge money. By way of customs, I spend huge money on this. Having paid all this customs duty, which is having a component of IGST also, what am I going to do? I'm going to export. Why should I make the country to lose for a while the foreign exchange outward? Again, why I should earn the country the foreign exchange inward? That is why foreign trade policies brought in this concept of advance authorization. What does it say? What kind of facilitation it gives? What is the facility it is giving is, as an advance authorization holder, I can happily try to see that for that authorization, a particular specified quantum of goods I can import at a nil rate or highly concessional rate. Having purchased that one, I will do manufacturing in India, sell it, means export it, earn foreign exchange for my country. Good, fine. But that you are not talking about, sir. You see the screen. Supply of goods by a registered person against advance authorization. That means that a local guy is selling to him. What is the use of it now? Again a point. Again a point is this. The government is thinking that if I am giving an advance authorization, what are you saying? I am going to import from a country like China or Taiwan or Thailand or something like that. If you are finding out a guy in India, if you are finding out a supplier in India, would you accept his supply? Quality wise, make in India, will you accept? Yes, you say. Then your advance authorization reference you give, you need not pay the tax. So that way, if it is done there, that is a deemed export. Only when the opposite supplier, Indian domestic make in India happy guy supplier, is given a status of deemed exporter to the advance authorization guy, as a zero rated supply, he is supplying deemed export. He need not pay tax. He can deem it as an export. Proudly, he can claim that I am supporting an exporter holding the advance authorization. He was about to buy from German. He was about to buy from China. I supplied it to him. Hence, I am calling myself proudly as deemed exporter. That's what it is. So is the case of EPCG, Export Promotion Capital Goods Authorization. If somebody is having EPCG license, he can import capital goods from the foreign country. If he is exporting the goods to the foreign country, earning the money, he is basically in need of a large size machinery. Capital goods are supposed to be used by him. Export Promotion Capital Goods scheme is supporting him. He is going to buy the goods without paying duty, and he is going to manufacture and export. Now, bring in the same scenario what I discussed for advance authorization. You do have an Indian manufacturer. The government is saying that you do have an Indian manufacturer, quality-wise, he is competing with the German guy. Buy from him. Don't go to foreign. Yes, I'm happy. If you say status of the deemed exporter is given to the goods, capital goods supplier of India, domestic supplier of India, who is claiming that as a deemed exporter and presenting the matter as deemed exporter. So is the case of supply to export-oriented units, which are not falling under SEZ. They are EOU. They are not SEZ. Export-oriented units are not bound by SEZ laws. SEZ unit is different. Geographically, it is decided. Export-oriented unit is not decided on the basis of geographical components, rather on the basis of the projects and details what they are giving and so many controls what they are having, including for the goods and services. So if the supply is given to EOU, by and large, they are supposed to be 100% EOU. Very few exceptions are there. FTP related matter, later we'll discuss. But EOU, if is giving the kind of certificate to you, believing that you can supply to him, you are doing an export that is deemed to have been exported. You supplied it to India, but treated as export. So is the case of supply of gold to public sector units, which have been specifically specified in a notification dated 30 June 2017 for this purpose under advance authorizations. These are all notified in the notification number 48 for 2017. Now, this is the broader picture what one is supposed to have. And then and there where we need to discuss the intricacies we have discussed. But still you may have some questions which are supposed to be answered by us. So you can just
Yes, sir.
try to get answered by us. Yeah, please.
You can see it's 13 to 14.
Yes. I'll just go to the questions. Yeah. Gauri Vaidyanathan, learned member. Does it mean that refund for export in November 2018, we can apply for refund in November 2020? Yes, certainly. He is talking about the excluded dates. Kindly remove those 2 years, count it. You can be able to see that this time is matching. As I was telling you, November 2018 to February 2020, you run the count. Perfectly okay. Stop there. March 2020 is not at all there in your count. Till February 2022, don't count at all. Then you take it up. If you are still able to see that within 2 years' time it is there, you can definitely go for a refund. No, sir, it is exceeding. Sorry. If it is exceeding, it is missed. 2 years' time is missed. But if you are working out these numbers, if you are able to do it, you can plan it. Not a problem at all. For a petrol station, whether RCM is payable on freight charges on purchase of petrol and diesel, the firm is registered under GST. Okay, this is not relating to our session. Still, briefly we'll reply. Reverse charge is applicable to any person who is registered under this law, number 1. 13/2017 CTR is the notification listing out 7 type of important persons who are all liable to pay reverse charge for the goods transport agency services. The word used here is petrol station. I believe that it may be an individual proprietary concern or partnership or HUF or maybe a firm or private limited, whatever it is. If so, you have all reason to pay the reverse charge for the freight what you are paying. You can always ask the question, sir, that goods are only petrol and diesel. Why I have to pay GT reverse charge for that one? Petrol and diesel are there in the GST, but not coming under the tax GSTT, that is a taxable tariff actually. That doesn't mean that even the lorry which is carrying is rendering an exempted service. It is rendering a taxable service one. Instead of it paying the tax, you are paying it. There are certain exemptions given under 12/2017 CTR, a list of items which are exempted. Those things are newspaper, manure or rice, maybe dal, milk, egg, maybe cattle field or wartime related matters or flood related relief taken. These are all the items given. So RCM is attracted on the basis of service rendered, not the goods which are carried on the one. Rice bag is carried by the lorry. Will you ask? No, it will not, because it is exempted. 12/2017 suppose. So it is a play between 12/2017 and 13/2017. 12/2017 exempts, 13/2017 attracts the reverse charge. Here in this case, reverse charge superiority is there. I'm having an issue with the refund, sir. My client got a manual order for excess claims of ITC, for which we have filed manual appeal. Okay, right. Then in this regard, while making the pre-deposit payment, we mistakenly paid the total demand instead of 10% on first. Fine, okay. How to claim the balance 90% of excess amount paid as pre-deposit amount? As I was just telling you, law is very clearly asking you for the purpose of section 107, only the 10% deposit. It's very clear. If there is an excess amount, you are supposed to claim that very easily. Should I wait till the appeal order is decided or something like that? I don't see any need for that at all. Because the issue is very explicit. It is not involving any kind of so-called, I can say, unjust enrichment, confusion and all. So we can just make an application in RFD 01, go to the others option, go there as select the option as excess payment and write the reasons and attach the evidences like what is the order copy, which is an impugned order in original, what is the 10% calculation in a simple sheet, and attach your payment challan copy also, make a refund application, say that this is wrongly paid, it is not an actual pre-deposit at all. Meanwhile, if you can expedite the process of appeal, well and good, you will decide and a word can be added in your argument that wrongly it is paid, consequential relief can be issued, given, you can say, relief will be issued, not a problem at all. Okay, you can plan for it. Then it is a manual appeal. That is why you are a little concerned. If it is electronic appeal, you will not go wrong because that will put the amount and make an auto-generated figure. Out of 100 rupees, 10 rupees only it will be forcing you. You will, even if you want also, you will not be able to pay. But it's a manual appeal. That is why it's just gone wrong. In one case, we received the SGST refund and not the CGST refund. Okay. What could have been the problem? Now the refund application is time barred. How to approach? The CGST component missing is having very, very limited technical reasons actually. Having seen that your invoice with SGST and CGST is right, having seen that SGST is reflected in GSTR 2A that time to 2B nowadays, having seen that the so-called subject matter supply is a proper eligible input tax credit, paying SGST only and leaving CGST has literally no reason actually. That is not justified at all. If there is any justification, that should have come out by way of RFD 06, what they are issuing. They should have denied this, and the DRC 07 they should have gone for. And that reason should be there. From your text, I am understanding that such a reasoning was not there. It's a non-speaking order which is totally against the natural justice. If that's the case, you can just ask for the refund, certainly is number one. Two, now the application time is barred, how to approach it. We have to see the dates. Without seeing the dates, I'm not able to comment that it is time barred actually. Taking your words with due respect that it is time barred, I see no possibility of checking it actually now. But if it is not time barred, it's open, we can go into the details. Then, can we file for refund of taxes paid wrongly in DRC 03? See, first of all, DRC 03 is a common instrument for several things. Most famous option is section 73(5) voluntary complaints. I believe and assume that Mr. Srinivas is referring to wrongly paid DRC 03 under section 73(5), I believe. Once it is wrong, sir, it is not a wrongly paid tax. Please read it as wrongly paid amount. Government has got no right, with all due respect I say, government has got no right to retain ₹1 of Mr. Srinivas in its hand. Government has got all right to collect any money what it deserves in the name of CGST, SGST, IGST, UTGST, whatever nonsense. Fine. So your money is your money, not your tax. So if you have paid wrongly an amount, you can always make an application even if it is DRC03 and say that from the date of payment, sir, what is the due in 2 years? Where it is told section 54, go to the last class I, subclass I, you'll be able to see that any other amount, if that is the case, date of payment shall be the relevant date. Your DRC03 is linked to the payment date. So you just go to the right corner of your DRC03, you will see the date actually. In the left corner, you will be able to see the ARN number actually. So referring that one, you just work out the number of days as I was telling to another learned member, Gauri. If it is working for you properly within the due date, you can definitely make an application and say that it is a wrongly paid amount, not a tax. Tax code is used, doesn't mean that it is the money what the government is deserving. It doesn't deserve. You deserve to go for a refund, you can make an application. In case of export of exempted supplies, in order to take refund of ITC on capital goods, export is done under payment route. Okay. Is it fine if no IGST is paid and to proceed with the refund application under the payment route? You have a lot of difficulty in practice actually. This is a route because you are forced to do this actually because you are an exporter, it appears, and you are an exporter of exempted supply, it appears. And by and large, you accept the capital goods, you will not have any kind of refund support for you actually. That may be the major source, it appears. So in those cases and all, you will be having only those kind of credit available to you. Practically, you have a lot of difficulties. We are facing those things and all. You can try. You can try. I'm not discouraging actually. You can try. Sir, will there be any difficulty in obtaining the refund if HSN code is mentioned in up to 4 digits only while filing the GST returns? Practical difficulty only, or there legal difficulty, seriously nothing. You are supposed to go for 6 digits provided you are having a turnover of 5 crore plus actually. Yes, you are supposed to. But just because your HSN code represented in your column number 12 of GST returns only 4 digits, you are not losing any of your lawful rights. You are having all rights actually. Technical deficiencies cannot in any way discourage the application for refund because refund purpose is only bigger thing. It's for refunding. Refund mechanism is for refunding, not for finding out any useless reason and rejecting it actually. So you can definitely get the refund. Practically, a lot of questions will be there that why should I believe that these goods are right? Why I should come to this? Issues are there. I agree actually. Nowadays, e-invoices are linked with the ICAI, so a lot of issues are arising out of that one actually. So in case of export, you don't have any serious problem at all when you are having documents actually, not a problem. Please share recorded version. We are unable to hear clearly even without headphones. I am not sure how many of majority are there. Maybe learned administrators will be able to get back to you. Can Indian branch office of a foreign company claim refund of ITC as the branch is providing services to head office only and it does not have any other revenue? Is a version actually. See, as I was telling you, the branch of a foreign company, which is there in India, foreign company is in a foreign company. So this supposed to be distinct person for all legal purpose actually. And they are having their branch activities in foreign country, which is not seriously giving a kind of a export to another person actually. Indian branch is there and its own foreign head office is there. You don't have a supply to a foreign head office, foreign separate person in itself. If you do have a registration slightly different, that is a separate company, or let me say somebody is your own subsidiary, foreign principal company or foreign holding company, and you are in India as an Indian company, I have all reason for this one. Otherwise, you are only a distinct person. You have practical difficulty in proving that you are exported to another person. Exported to yourself, not to another person. Your own head office, your own branch office. Branch in India, head office is in foreign country. I don't see a very easy case in this matter for establishing that it's a good case for refund. I see only dispute actually. Anyway. Aadhaar authentication is pending, so I am not getting IGST refund of export without payment case. Okay. I have mailed to GST department, no response. What to do? Aadhaar authentication is mandatory one for KYC purpose in the past 1 year and 4 months specifically. Earlier it was reasonably part of. As it is linked with the system itself, we have very serious difficulty in practice to go ahead with this one. Unless we are having KYC clearance with respect to the Aadhaar authentication, certainly it is not possible. Today, my reply is it is not possible. That's what we can tell. And of course, representations, all are there. That is not that any person like you are having any problem and they are not discussing with the government. They discuss, of course, but government has expressed its difficulty in curbing the wrong refunds. Because one fly-by-night one guy is coming there, making an application, gets a refund, runs away. Who is he? What is he? By the time the department is checking, he is no more. No more in the sense, not in records. So just to curb this practice, they are strictly enforcing the KYC norms. So you know, real, I need not explain, you are all elite. And even for a simple bank account process, KYC is must. For a simple kind of a payment settlement system for certain wallet level, what we have to do, they are asking for KYC as mandatory things. Beyond a level, even for a cinema ticket booking also, these guys will be asking KYC in future, it appears. If that is the case, refund from government, sovereign activity. So we may kindly just excuse the government, support the government to complete the process. Realization of zero-rated supply, export of exempted goods, made in April 2021, that is after 9 months. GST authority has rejected the refund due to the above said delay. Is there any option to get a refund? Can the client take the benefit of COVID period as mentioned by you? As I told you, sir, the time of getting the foreign exchange and the time of supply, whichever is later, only is kicking the relevant date actually. As you rightly mentioned, after 9 months it has come there, but that doesn't mean that it is against the provisions of RBI. It has come there well in time. After 9 months is within 1 year time. That's seriously there. 6 months plus 6 months, you can still go for it actually. But in this matter, whether you can get the benefit of COVID, certainly, why not? You please calculate the period. Entirely this period is covered by the non-existing exclusion actually. Remove this. Afresh start your number counting only from 1st March 2022. It is well within the time. Please make an application. Certainly it will be entertained. It is not time bound case. Please make an application. Earlier one is a bounced one, but now you can do. Mr. Bibin is raising his hands. 1 minute. Not able to unmute it. Can you please come to the Mr. Bibin? Can you please come to the chat box?
Allow them to unmute, sir, or else I can put it in chat box.
Oh, yeah, I can come to the chat box. Right. Realization of zero-rated supply, export of exempted goods made in 2020. We just discussed that matter. If a taxpayer has imported goods under advance authorization scheme, right, is refund of accumulated ITC permissible? If yes, what is the applicable rule and is there any specific computation mechanism? Okay. No, I just explained very clearly. Notification number 48/2017 read together with section 147 of CGST Act refer to deemed export by way of a clear mechanism, namely domestic supplier supplying goods to advanced authorization guy in India. It's very clear. It is not about you are importing with advanced authorization scheme just because of that your ITC is accumulated, you will be, no, not at all. You prove yourself as an exporter, you have an accumulated ITC getting as a refund part. That is okay. That is not the case at all in this matter. You are talking about an advanced authorization scheme, a guy who is having a import of goods in his hand, fine. Let him have the goods manufactured or set right for the purpose of this, subject to SION, standards input-output norms. Let him export the goods, come to the RFDI 01, say what is the ITC accumulated, gain the benefit. This alone, just because I imported, just because I'm having advanced authorization, I achieved something. You have not achieved anything. You are yet to achieve and you can claim for it. Sir, is it possible to do export of exempted goods without LUT and meanwhile to purchase the inputs from his supplier at concessional rate of 0.1. First part, there are two limbs in this question. First part, is it possible to do export of exempted goods without LUT? As I was telling you, LUT is the one which is giving the assurance to the government that you are an exporter. If you are doing export under IGST Act for violations, you will be committed. That's an assurance fairly required for preliminary things. As I was telling you, what prevented from taking the LUT is a serious question. As I was telling you, it is a 25-second matter, nothing more than that. So that is one point. But referring to the circular, you can always 49/2018 circular I told you that you can always say that I need not require LUT. Why are you forcing me? I have exported, documents are there, goods are there. I make an application. You can always say, not a problem at all. You can always ask one question, sir, whether an unregistered person can make an application for refund. He is not registered, but can he make an application for this purpose now? Very tough in practice. What you can do, you can just enter into, you can create a TRN, temporary registration number, before ARN. Okay. Using the TRN level itself, you are going to do other works and all later only. Stop there. At that moment itself, you will be able to see the refund application appearing in your eyes, in front of your eyes. You can try it. The second part of the question. Meanwhile, to purchase the inputs from his supplier at a concessional rate of 0.1%, can he do this process? Is the next question actually. As I was telling you, if you are having a lot of care as to the complaints with 41/2017 ITR, then you can try to do this. You have to take a lot of care. 9 conditions are there. I told 6 conditions when I discussed it. Please go through patiently one by one. Please do not believe any supplier unless you are having all reasons and evidences to believe that he will not let you down. Then you can go ahead. I'm saying from the input supply side. Or if you are asking the question for a customer or client of yours who is a real exporter, you don't let down your input supplier because that guy, he's a poor guy who is depending upon you only. So please go through the conditions and then decide it. It's a little risky matter. Take care of the conditions and then proceed. When the supplier is supplying goods at concessional rate of 1.1% to the exporter, is it necessary for the supplier to reverse any portion of ITC for having supplied the goods at concessional rate? Not at all. Not at all. He is supplying at a concessional rate. This is not in any way mean or lower to any other thing. It's a perfect supply at a different rate. You will not be worried if he is supplying at 5%. You will not be worried if he is supplying at 12 or 18 or 28. You need not be worried if he is supplying at 0.1% because this is a normal rate given to him. He is supplying. That doesn't affect in any manner his eligibility of ITC, his right to carry his ITC balances. How to claim accumulated ITC balance for inverted duty structure? As I explained it to you, hope you would have noted, RFD 01 is having specific column for inverted structure actually. You can click that. Out of the 17 reasons, it is also a reason. And when you're getting inside that one, it is asking simple details of the so-called adjusted total turnover and the turnover you are claiming for the refund, the balance available at the time of tax period end, the ITC balance at the time of viewers at present, and explanation columns, and a simple working note which you believe that during the tax period, you are suffering in an environment of inverted structure. It's a simple worksheet. If needed, a covering letter explaining the nature of the goods, what you are talking about, perfectly right. Okay. And all these things are all about goods. I never talked about services because inverted structure is opening its doors only for goods. Services, VKC footwear case, all of you are aware, including the Supreme Court decision. So it is not giving any clearance for the input services actually. So that is a problem actually. Goods, you can just go for it, not a problem at all. Then, if I have taken advance authorization, can I claim refund? Already responded, merely taking advance authorization does not give refund. And a supplier to a authorized authorization holder is a deemed exporter, I told. Again, please refer section 147, read together with notification 48 by 2017. Supply to UOE should be taxable at 0.1%. As I was telling you, it's a deemed export. It is not requiring 0.1%. 0.1% is relating to domestic supplier to another merchant exporter in domestic area itself in India. That is what falling under 41 per 2017, all these stories and all. If you are supplying to EOU, collect the evidence of EOU, the registration details, and say that I am a deemed exporter. I don't want to levy tax. I am doing a deemed export. It's a zero rated kind of matter. If at all some ITC is accumulating, I can go for a refund. I will ask my EOU, say that in this regard, he is not claiming refund, I will claim refund. You can go for it. Jurisdiction confirmation letter will be required. This is a standard formality inside the department. They will give confirmation. You can collect it and go for it. All your form will get, sir. You need not worry. Just say that you are a deemed exporter. Have the complete cooperation from the EOU customer. You are done with it. The refund application has not been made rejected by the department. We are not able to apply for fresh refund. Of course, you cannot. What should be done? And only grievance. A very simple point what you can raise is the grievances are responded very seriously nowadays is one point. More than anything else, I can just in the public discussion itself tell, just write a simple letter very gently, politely, with all your professional quality in the letter of the applicant and remind this matter, just mark CC to jurisdictional commissioner. That is the end of the story. Is all we have seen, sir. You write, sir. You write, madam, you will see. When you write, mark CC to the commissioner, really you are giving the CC to the commissioner or not, it is up to you. Mark CC, go there and hand deliver to them. If they are denying, send by registered post. Next maximum 24 hours, you will get a response. Either you will reject or you will issue a show cause notice, DRC 08, anything will be there. You can write to it. Within 15 days, ARN should be generated, got it. Maybe within 7 days time, you are supposed to give a part refund or full refund, if something should be done by you, not done that. So I am supposed to assume that after 60 days with interest, you are going to give me. Kindly give me the refund, give my refund with the interest. Write to them. That's what I just showed you in the first screen, third screen itself, that what is the process. Referring that one, write the letter, mark CC to the jurisdiction commissioner. Commissioner will give you a happy lesson to the so-called officer. He will definitely give you a response to you. Our client is a merchant exporter. They buy and export as it is. Right, okay. They are having accumulated ITC in their credit ledger. Fine. They are claiming the duty drawback as mentioned in the shipping bill based on the rates given by the circular and the refund on accumulated ITC. Now the department has sent a notice that they are claiming both drawback and ITC refund and asking the client to repay the refund claimed in the ITC. Is there any restriction or any way to avoid the notice, any possibility to repay the duty drawback claim? First point, yes, you are not eligible to claim duty drawback, and this also because duty drawback itself is asking a clear confirmation in writing that I am not gaining any benefit out of this as a refund under any other law. It writes very clearly. So by mistake, the applicant would have forgotten that he has given such a kind of assurance when he made an application for duty drawback, and he would have made this mistake actually. Number one. Number two, the next limb of the question is there any restriction? Yes, I told yes, it is there. Any way to avoid the notice or possibilities to repay the duty drawback claim? We literally see no possibility of that one, sir, actually. Because you are supposed to make a refund with the clearance from the concerned department, namely the customs. You have to get the clearance from them, because how you will make the payment without demand? There is no demand at all. How to make a refund? Or you have to convince your customs officer to issue a notice. Straight away you can just tell him, sir, I am ready to return the duty drawback. Can you make a demand and I will just pay? Why? Now, the more beneficial refund is available there. Only thing is it's very tricky and very serious arrangement I have to do. I have to do this work, get your money back, go to the GST department, make a claim without seeing limitation issue there. If you can do it, you can do it. I don't see a drawback returning voluntarily by you so easily in law. In practice, it's not possible. Is it necessary to pay percentage dash to government officer for claim refund? Certainly no. Certainly no. My personal reply, my professional reply is certainly no. Sir, it is not possible, sir. Now, sitting before you, live, flesh and blood, even a single pay, don't pay. Refund comes. No, sir, they used to give some reasons and reject it. Sometimes there are some good people still there inside the department. They take a lot of care and then give the refund. There are still some bad people. Of course, I'm not denying it. They deny this one just for this reason. Sir, it is up to you to decide. I'm sitting in front of you. I have not paid one paise. My hands are clean. You can see in the screen. That is the fact. You need not. If you are not interested, you need not pay. Why you have to pay? No, sir, client is ask the client to go and do. For that, a broker is enough, a chartered accountant is not enough. You go there, you go take a broker and go. You ask him to go, not a problem at all. But not necessary, sir. Don't worry, sir. I think you are wounded by some better experience. Don't worry, sir. It's okay. It's okay. Just leave it. So you have met some exceptionally bad officer on a particular day. Just forget it. Make application, fight it, sir. Certainly you can. You are chartered accountant, sir. You are not normal person. You can fight. You can win. Don't worry about it. So after one attempt, two attempts, sir, do you know one thing? In practice, for the 9th time, I made an application. 9th time. And got the refund. He become tired. What he can do? Poor officer. 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 4 time, 5 time, 6 times. 9th time he got vexed. Useless fellow. Somebody sitting only for making application. Just do it. Thereafter, he was the very best officer in giving the refund. Till that. To my knowledge, 34 or 32 of refunds have been received in the past 5.5 years by that particular client. You can. Don't worry about it. There are a lot of chartered accountant professionals who are following this method, sir. Don't worry. You are also in the club. Join in the club. Don't worry. Is there any refund mechanism to claim accumulated GST paid on capital goods? Indirect and direct things are there, sir. A perfect method, what I can say. Accumulated is accumulated. Not a perfect mechanism. This is, I cannot in a very open discussion say, it is a kind of a very, what I can say, a very thinner demarcating line is there between ethical and unethical. If you are having sister concerns and if they are doing business and if you are having a kind of service relationship, now what I'm trying to mean, you will understand. Beyond that, I'm not supposed to tell. Okay, because as I told you, we cannot cross the Lakshman Rekha. So you can plan. Depending upon the situation, you can definitely plan. Then at the time of closing business, his GST registration holder can claim refund for input credit left. You cannot, sir. Because as I was explaining to you in detail, ITC is the right given to you. It's not a birthright. ITC is a right given to you to ensure that you are not unduly paying to the government where you need to pay a relatively lesser amount in a specified environment. Specified environment is inverted structure. Unfortunately, law is forcing you to pay more at the time of buying and collect less at the time of selling. That is very unfair. So you are allowed to take refund. In case of export, you do a good service to the country by doing an export and collecting the foreign exchange, but you are paying ITC and accumulating ITC. That time the government is trying to come and save you, pay out this. Wrong payment, excess payment, code change, appeal related matter, excess payment, payment under protest. All these things are there, that refund is there. But at the time of closing your business, law is giving you permission to use the money. Unfortunately, you are closing the business. So your only option given to you is reverse the ITC, get the certificate of the chartered accountant if it is crossing 2 lakh rupees, form GSTR 10 is there to file as a final return, file it. The return will be forcefully asking you that, do you have ITC, whether you properly reversed it or not. If you have to pay out of your pocket, you pay or not, then it will close. If you fail to file GSTR 10 and close the story properly, it's bad. As our ancestors told, in case of enmity, in case of debt, you see that perfectly to the last bit of that destroy. If you're having any balance, especially with the government, it's in trouble. Don't have it. Why the department is asking for commitment that we will not file an appeal against the refund amount reduced? Is it a statutory requirement? In case I say I will file appeal, should officer reject it? Not at all. Please understand this. That's a good question, in fact, from CA Gauri Vaidyanathan. You are not forced. See, it is an option. The option itself is reading very clearly both. Unlike your other things and all, it is giving both. See, what is happening there normally when you are installing a software? Decline, accept. You are directly going there and hitting accept. You have all right to say that I decline. You need not install, right? Same way, both are there. Only thing is, unduly and unfortunately, again, some software guy only is preparing this module also in website. Very bold, conspicuous icon is reading, I accept. Another icon is there. I don't accept. You can click it. You can click it. I will not accept. I will not go for PMT03. I am going on appeal. Perfect. You need not worry about it. So it is up to you. If you are committing, the officer is closing that matter and completing the process. If you are not completing, he is having his own job of either accepting fully or otherwise. You are not in a position to be suppressed by this kind of matter. That is not the case. Can you please give the notification number and date which excludes the COVID period from refund application delay? 13/2022 dated 5/7/2022, sir. Right? Click that one, you will be able to get it. Even by just a Google search also you can get it. Not a problem. Is that only 3 limbs are there? 1, 2, 3. The third limb you can just read it. First and second limb relating to collection of tax. This is refund of tax. That will be there. Third. It is making modification in the 35/2021. The old notification, it is just making the modification. Restaurant paying for GST 5% without taking ITC, can it claim refund of balance? Not at all. Not at all. It is a prevented one. I see the rate of 5% is forced upon you with a condition that don't take ITC. It's a forced one. You are not given choice. It's all unfair actually. On 15/11/2017, 11/2017 CTR got amended in this respect, unfortunately, without giving option. Even today, there are still some people in a school of thought and saying that I will violate by force the ITC claiming issue. As I have taken ITC, I will claim that I am eligible to collect 18% tax. It's a dispute. I don't want to say anything about it. Here, coming to this one, you can try to plan that. This way you can do it. We are nearing the closing time. I have to just get confirmation from the administrators from the institute also. How many minutes we can go for? Few minutes? What's the arrangement?
We can close it in 2 or 3 minutes, up to 7:40.
Right, okay, right, okay.
Up to you. The rest will compile.
Yeah, fine.
We have received more questions also, sir.
Large number of questions. Yes.
We'll send it to you. We'll compile and send it to you.
Please.
Get it answered later.
I will ensure that all the questions are answered because
Time permits, you can respond.
Yeah. Painstakingly, the members have just asked it. We will ensure that none of their questions are unanswered. Please forward to me. I will respond. Another minute or two, I will just take and close it. Actually.
Yes.
The rest of the that I said. Okay. Because for one of my clients, refund application relating to exports done in April to June 2019, RFD 01A was filed in 18/1/2022. The CTO has refused the refund, stating that it is time bound. Don't worry, sir. As I told you, exclusion period is very clearly there. You can plan for it. Not a problem. You just maybe the learned officer would not have gone through the exemption, that is exclusion notification, what I referred to at all. Please furnish to him. The CGST law is having its own parallel provisions, accepted notifications in SGST also. Learned CTO is very much living in India only. He is bound by this notification. Please give it to him. He will understand. He should understand, of course. If we have maximum accumulated ITC, whether it is good practice to first pay IGST on export and again claim for refund. Party has already taken advance authorization. See, as I was telling you, it is not the choice literally we are given to actually. When you are going to the website, automatically it is arranged. When you do the practical experience, you will be able to understand it. It is clubbed. That's why I showed the screen also to you. That 69,006 rupees I showed you. Hope you can recall. Along with that 1,09,000 rupees I found. It's clubbed. It is not differentiating, allowing you to differentiate also. It is not making you to offer what you want. It picks up. It picks up in the same order. IGST, CGST, SGST says in a separate column. That's how it is going. So that is how it is going. Last question, I think. Is there any provision to transfer tax paid wrongly from one state to another state? That is, instead of paying CGST, SGST, paid IGST, for example, Maharashtra to Kerala. Very simply and briefly, I'll tell you. Please closely follow what I'm just suggesting you. That is one section 77, sir. If you are paying wrong tax, you will never pay interest for this in your lifetime. Take my words. Number one, assured. Number two, pay the right tax. Sorry, not only you told that you will not pay interest. Yes, you will not pay interest. But what I'm telling is, you pay the right tax, claim the refund, fully refundable. Certainly refundable. Please ensure the time limit from the date of payment, 2 years time. Please ensure it. Certainly, you will be able to get the refund. Not a problem at all. This is one point. Now, coming to your question, instead of paying CGST, SGST, I paid IGST, you say. As I was telling you, you have to pay CGST, SGST now. You can make the application of IGST within the 2 years' time. Certainly, it is refundable. Don't worry. You can claim that. Okay. Rest of the questions, I will certainly take up and respond specifically. You can collect the response from our SIRC, team SIRC, a tireless working team. You can definitely take from the reply. Over to CA Rajesh and the SIRC.
Sir, really thank you very much for this wonderful session. Actually, we had a good participation of more than 300 plus members, and it's like we have received more than 80 plus questions. So that's the level of attention our members have been giving to the session. So really thank you very much for your patience in addressing all the questions, most of the questions, and also it was like all the areas you have touched. It was like with the practical applications and everything. So it's like members they would have now they would be very much clear with all the even small aspects with regard to the GST refunds. So thank you very much, sir, for your time, and it's a great honor to have you at SIRC. As always, we feel proud of you, and we are honored. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure is mine, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
We also thank all the participants for this wonderful participation. We request you all your support in the future programs also. Thank you very much on behalf of SIRC.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.